Here's a great piece from The Guardian. Divided Oldham, a merged academy in the town, was derided for being split along racial lines, but has won the annual Inclusive Schools Award. Yep, the annual Inclusive Schools Award. Worthless. That award's more worthless than Most Attractive Man on the Burns Unit Awards, right? That's tallest midget in the room levels of awards. This school popped up on my radar because my old pal Rag sent me a video about it, and it's just hardcore, pure propagandizing, brainwashing children with absolute bollocks. So I'll show you the video, I'll read you a little bit of this drivel from The Guardian, and then we'll check and see how the school's actually doing, shall we? Needless to say, my money's on them not doing very well when they're winning fictional commie awards, and they're more worried about inclusion than maths and reading. So let's get into it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Shout out to John, one of the 30% of Scousers that aren't a communist, and his excellent taste in bootneck apparel. You can get one for yourself. The link's in the description. And happy birthday, John. It suits you, mate. Right, this video's 8 years old apparently. I'll just give you a quick glimpse into what goes on and just how many children they're propagandising at this ridiculous pinko school.
That word compassion there, what's special about the way it's written?
At Waterhead Academy, they're not looking back, but forward. This local school is pretty unique, and we were given rare access to see how they are actively trying to build relationships between communities like St Mary's and Glodick. The academy came about after a school of nearly all white pupils was deliberately merged with a predominantly Asian one.
Part and parcel of our job is not just to educate the child, but as subtly as we can, get those messages to go home. We want children to challenge, we want children to be independent and think and challenge any stereotypes they come across, because that is what we want to provide here as an education for the young people of Oldham. We want this new generation of students coming through that are going to challenge those perceptions and set a new standard in their communities.
Some of the older pupils went to Waterhead's predecessor schools.
Back then, we just only understood our way of life and what we believed in. But as we've integrated in this school, you kind of learn how other people see the world.
Oh, it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Learning how other people see the world. Yeah, brilliant. Unfortunately, not all cultures are the same, and not everything is equally worthwhile. For example, now she's probably learning that Somalian girls usually take a summer trip to see an uncle when they turn 13, and he promptly takes a broken bottle to the flaps. This isn't something I think that kids should be learning, frankly. But what do I know? Clearly, I'm not a professional educator. So obviously, I'm sceptical about foxtrot golf mic procedures, where a middle-aged sex offender saws at a young woman's lady garden with a sharp stone. Maybe I'm just being a prick, eh?
The aggressive multicultural atmosphere of the school can jar with some of the pupils' home lives. 14-year-old Sana Rangzib goes to Waterhead Academy and lives in Glodick. She is the niece of travel agent Parviz Nazir.
We just hardly see any white people at our home, but in school it's different religions, different people speaking differently, just like that.
Her mother Tyra came to the UK 22 years ago from Pakistan.
Do you have any white friends?
As we film, Tyra's husband arrives. Uncomfortable with our questions, he wants the interview to stop.
He's mostly.
And tells Tyra to get up and go.
The patriarch's back. So yeah, you're not allowed to talk to a journalist without your husband's permission. But for some reason, The Guardian loves people who treat the wives like second-class citizens, as long as they have names like Tahik Arziki or whatever the bloody hell he was called. It's a bit strange. Again, the double standards from these people. It's so weird, isn't it? It's weird how they'll defend them if they're literally torturing children. But if I make a sexist quip, they'll banish me to the netherworld. It's quite bizarre, this blind spot they've got. Anyway, I'm not going to make you watch the full video. Suffice it to say, that there is a summation of what they're doing. Brainwashing children. forcing them to mix by merging two different schools and then thoroughly indoctrinating them. And as you can see there on the screen, it says it was hailed as a wonder school. Oh, it's brilliant, this, and it's won all these inclusion awards. But obviously, it's got issues with bullying, truancy, and the delivery of the curriculum. Basically, it's awful, which explains this. A Guardian story telling you it's the best school ever. Yay, the academy was merged and now it's been awarded an Inclusive Schools Award. Marvellous. The Waterhead Academy, which sought to bring the town together, has won the annual Accord Inclusive Schools Award for its ambitious contribution to improving community cohesion. They merged the predominantly Asian Breeze Hill with the mainly white British Count Hill School using a strategy of engineered integration in an attempt to dissipate racial tensions. So they can use all the flowery language they like, but you can call it engineering integration to dissipate racial tension. But what it is brainwashing. And as usual with left-wing ideologies, it doesn't work, does it? It doesn't work. You can wish it and wish it and wish it. You can wish upon a star, but you can't cram square pegs through round holes. So this is a gushing piece by The Guardian telling you how marvellous the school is and it's all integrated and it's engineering the correct way of thinking. And lo and behold, what do we find written about the school now in 2025? The Greater Manchester School, where bullying is common and students are exposed to foul language. Ofsted inspectors said Waterhead Academy pupils were unhappy and experienced racist and homophobic language. What? Very, very devout regulars at Alan's legendary snack bar? A homophobe? No, I'm not having that. I've only seen 20,000 videos of them hoying them off large buildings, swan diving them into the concrete because they dared look at the cock sideways. No, I'm not having that. I'm not having it. No, it can't be true. The Guardian said it's a brilliant school, so it definitely is. Waterhead Academy in Oldham has received the lowest possible rating of inadequate following an inspection by Ofsted, which downgraded it from its 2019 rating of requires improvement. The watchdog slammed the education provided at the high school and said the 1,358 pupils on its roll had been failed for far too long. Boom shanker, there you go. Which gets to the meat of this video, the main reason I wanted to make it. Because as you know, the Angry Bootneck's got chips on both shoulders. And for about 10 years, I've told you, and anyone else who listen, that when you forcibly bus scruffy, horrible, thieving, lying, jipe kids, right, to go to schools with middle-class kids, you don't help anyone. You don't help anyone. Anyone with two brain cells knows this to be true. If you introduce a few shitty kids into a good school, all you do is drag everybody down to their level. To use another analogy, if you had a pristine well in your back garden with beautiful clear spring water coming out of it, and I dropped my drawers and snapped a foot of brown cable off in it, right? Would you be happy drinking out of it? Would you? Bring a bucket up, you could be like, oh, there's thousands of gallons down there. There's only a little bit of shite in it. Have a drink. No, I don't want to drink. And that analogy I've always used to talk about schools, and lo and behold, the Guardian and the commies engage in some propagandizing of children, and they wish and they wish and they wish, and they manipulate and they scheme. And what do they do? And they write puff pieces about how it's a marvellous school and it's all wonderfully integrated. And what do you get? All the kids hate each other. Half of them are virulently homophobic and nobody's getting an education. Marvellous. Job well done, lads. Cheers. But again, and it's hilarious, isn't it? Because you saw it coming 50 miles away. I saw it coming 50 miles away. Anybody who isn't a Guardian reader or a BBC journalist saw this staggering drunkenly over the hill 50 miles away like a diplodocus in a neon green Kappa tracksuit. It's ludicrous that these idiots get given public money to piss up the wall on these cockamamie schemes that everybody knows are going to go tits up the second they try them. But we are where we are. No wonder we're in a financial black hole, because the people running the UK are obsessed with wishful thinking, juvenile, infantile idealism. Real men, real leaders use cold, logical, rational pragmatism, not wishy-washy Guardian reader Shiite that's of no use to anyone. So, if your kids are unlucky enough to go to that school, I suggest you pull them out of it, alright? But that's just my opinion. If you disagree, please leave a comment down there for me to read and laugh at, okay? If you haven't figured out that I'm always right, you haven't been paying attention, have you? Anyway, that's me. Thanks for watching. Share it if you can be bothered, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.